Hi, Mother Superior here, and I'd like to introduce you to the Chancellor of Superior University.
Hi, I'm Ricky.
And both of us together are the know-it-alls of Superior Threads. We get questions all the time from different customers by phone or by email, and they ask questions about our threads, and we're about to start to help them. So we'd like to introduce today Razzle Dazzle. Razzle Dazzle is a polyester thread twisted with our glitter. That gives it a really nice sparkle, and it adds a really nice effect on garments, on quilting, anywhere you need something that's a little thicker to make a statement. And we're going to talk about all the different aspects of a Razzle Dazzle.
Heather, Susan from Iowa called and she wanted to know what size needle she should use with Razzle Dazzle.
That's the trick. Razzle Dazzle is too thick to go through any needle, so there is no recommended needle for Razzle Dazzle. We wind it on a bobbin and we sew from the underside, and that's how we attach Razzle Dazzle.
So if Razzle Dazzle is too thick to go through a needle, how do I wind it on my bobbin?
No problem. You wind it like a regular thread using your machine and the bobbin that is provided for your machine. Ricky, how many colors is Razzle Dazzle available in?
It's available in 25 colors. Some of them are multicolor and some are solid.
And you have this nifty card that shows all of them. Is this real thread?
Yes, it is. It's wound and it's all real thread, so you can really tell the colors of each one. Joan from California wanted to know what thread she should use in the top when she has Razzle Dazzle in the bobbin.
Easy. Any of the threads from Superior Thread work in the top.
Would you please explain couching to Joan from Nevada?
Yeah, couching is when you take a thick thread that doesn't go through the needle and you place it on top of the fabric and then you stitch it down. You can do it by hand or machine.
I've heard the term bobbinwork or reverse quilting. What is that?
That is when your thread in the bobbin becomes the focus thread. And the way to do that is by stitching with the front of the quilt down and you stitch from the back. For reverse quilting or bobbin work, you put your Razzle Dazzle in your bobbin, and then you would start quilting as normal, except this time you put the face of the quilt down and the back of the quilt is facing you. That way when you quilt, you have the Razzle Dazzle being quilted on the other side, and that gives you this wonderful effect. When winding Razzle Dazzle on the bobbin, don't use your horizontal spool. You want to use your vertical spool. Place your Razzle Dazzle there, and where you would normally make a figure 8 to wind the bobbin, put it in the clip so it has some tension. Place the bobbin there, wrap, and wind. That gives you a perfectly round bobbin.
We've had people ask us about loading the heavier threads into your bobbin and then that into your case. They want to know whether they have to change their tension. Most of the time, you do not have to do that. Once you pull that through, you'll see that it moves rather smoothly. If you find you have to change your tension, it's the larger screw on your bobbin case. Think of it as a clock. In this case, if you want to go left loosey, you just turn it about 5 minutes. That's all you need to do. Then lay it down and try it. If it's smooth, you're perfect. When you're finished using this thread, take that screw again and move it back the 5 minutes, and you're back where you were before. If you have a drop-in bobbin, there's really no need to change any tension. It'll work fine. We suggest when you're using a heavier thread in your bobbin, you bring the thread up through your piece. So just take one stitch down and one stitch up, lift up your presser foot, and just pull on that thread, and you're going to find that you'll be able to pull that through. It may seem heavy, don't worry. Then I'm ready to go ahead and stitch. then there's a stitching we have on the back of your quilt, if you will, or your piece. You turn it over, and here's the wonderful stitching with the Razzle Dazzle. Pretty easy.
One advantage of Razzle Dazzle is that it's thick and bold. I can sew just once an outline stitch on this feather, and it shows up so well. On this So Fine 50, I had to come back many times on that spine to give it definition. Only once with Razzle Dazzle. This is a jacket I made, and here's a close-up of the Razzle Dazzle on it. It was actually done on a long arm using two contrasting Razzle Dazzle colors. When I finished, I made the jacket, and I also used Razzle Dazzle to make the cording that fastened the jacket. When you're finished using Razzle Dazzle, to store it, there's a catch on the bottom of the spool. That will secure your thread. Trim the excess, and then you can use a thread net that will hold everything in place, or Hugo's Amazing Tape works very well for this too. It sticks on itself and it keeps the thread intact.